What's up, YouTube? It's JackalGoldKick. So I'm going to be doing another video that's similar to the Dennis and Rob level 1 called like rap beefs that should have happened, or there should have been more with it. This one probably won't be as long as the other one because there's not much to say, but it's a rap beef, another one that I think would have been very, very interesting. And I'll try not to be biased since JB's my favorite rapper. JB versus Hopsin. This is another rap beef that I wish would have happened. And what I mean by that is essentially JB actually did diss Hopsin on a song called Respect It. And I know JB is like 2K subs and Hopsin's way more known. But if somehow, some way, Hopsin was able to find that song or he heard JB talking trash, then this could have possibly been a beef. And they're both from California, remember that as well. And I think JB versus Hopsin, that would have been a fucking badass rap beef, you know? JB's my personal favorite rapper. I do prefer him over Hopsin. I'll try not to be too biased, but I've always wanted to see JB in some kind of like rap beef, just going back and forth with someone. I think he would do extremely well because he has killer songs, and that one feature, like the features he does are crazy. Doomsday, he killed the song. The one song he did with that one singer, he was amazing on there, even though his verse was really short. But anyways, when it comes to the JB and Hopsin beef, from JB's point of view, I remember talking to him on Twitter, and essentially what JB told me is that I was like, why'd you I don't have the DMs anymore. I lost the account, so I'm just gonna have to go off my head with this. I was talking to JB on Twitter, and I said, hey, I was asking him why you dissed Hopsin, and JB pretty much said that, you know, a lot of people thought Hopsin was this and that and someone special, but I didn't think Hopsin was anything special, so I decided to diss him because I didn't see the hype around him. So he took a shot at him. And if you want to listen to the song, it's called Respect It. And in the first verse, JB Bit pretty much takes a shot at Hopsin, and he says, Hopsin talking ill because his balls ain't dropped yet. Skin him to Scotland and throw him into the Loch Ness. And it was just cool to hear that because I like when rappers are competitive, and, you know, rap beef in general is fun. As long as people aren't dying, I like rap beef. Like the Eminem and MGK beef, for example. Yeah, I vastly prefer Eminem over MGK. You know, I've never been really a huge fan of MGK, but that was an entertaining beef. Rap beef is entertaining, just as long as it doesn't go overboard like the Tupac and Biggie shit, because nobody wants that. Keep it to music. But yeah, JB, he threw that shot at Hopsin and dissed him on Respect It. And that's as far as it goes on his side of the camp. And like I said, the reason he dissed Hopsin was because he was like, man, or I can't remember fully what he said, but he said everybody was, you know, bigging him up, but he feels like Hopsin wasn't nothing special, so he went ahead and dissed him. And it's interesting because the song he dissed him on has like a fan-made, not fan-made, but it's like a remix where he puts like a verse from Tyler and Eminem on there. So he dissed Hopsin on a song with one of Hopsin's enemies, Tyler the Creator, someone that Hopsin dissed. So that's kind of cool. But in terms of Hopsin's side of the thing, he never has said anything about JB. Never, there's been nothing from Hopsin's side when it comes to JB. It's only been like JB's side. So that's why this video is way shorter and why there's not as much to say. But I think if somehow, some way, Hopsin actually was able to hear his song and decided to respond, I think it would have been a very interesting battle. I would have loved to see that, JB and Hopsin going back and forth. I think that would have been really, really cool to see JB and Hopsin dissing each other back and forth, competing with each other. It would be so interesting to see that. And also because they're both California rappers, they're both from California, so you would have a Cali beef. You would have two rappers going head to head, and it would be so interesting, and I would love to see it. I've always wanted to see, maybe it's because he's my favorite rapper of all time, but I've always wanted to see JB in some kind of rap beef with someone, because I feel like he would do really well, because the guy makes great songs. He can go crazy on the mic. He kills features. I would just love to see JB in like a rap beef and to see how he would do. And I think if, you know, somehow Hopsin knew about him or heard about the diss and decided to diss him back, it would be one hell of a battle. It would be one hell of a rap beef, and it would be cool as fuck. And I think it would be really awesome. Now, in terms of who would win, I'm not really sure on that, because we've seen Hopsin diss people, and Hopsin is pretty good at dissing people, but I feel like he's never really beaten anybody in a battle, to be honest with you. I mean, Language Arts, whoever the hell that guy is, yeah, he beat him, but Hopsin didn't beat Rob Level, in my opinion. Hopsin lost the Horseshoe Gang, but he can, you know, diss. JB, you know, I don't really know, because JB's never been in beef with anybody, so it's kind of hard to say who would win that battle, you know, with JB and Hopsin. I guess we wouldn't really know unless it actually did happen, but I think it would be a cool beef to see, you know, if it actually went beyond just JB taking a shot at him on the song Respect It. It would have been a cool rap beef, and it'd been cool because it would have been California based, a California rapper versus another California rapper. You know, the bias in me wants to say JB. You know, I feel like JB, you know, if I'm looking at the beef and, you know, the way they rap and how they put stuff together, I do feel like if I had to choose, and, you know, maybe I'm biased, but I feel like JB would win if that beef did happen, because JB never got to be famous. He never got to be signed. He's a hungry rapper. He was doing this stuff for 10 years. He's vicious. He's good at features. Although we never seen him in rap beefs, he seems like a guy that you don't want to fuck with when it comes to rap music, and he can fuck some shit up. Whereas Hopsin, he can diss, but his counter in terms of how many people he's beaten is not really high. So it could maybe go either way. But in my opinion, if they did beef with each other, it would be really cool and awesome to see, as long as it doesn't get violent like Tupac and Biggie. But I think JB would win that one, just because JB is a vicious MC. He kills features. And even though we ain't seen him in rap beef, I feel like he's a lot more hungrier than Hopsin is and has more to gain, you know, because JB never got to be famous or be signed to a label, whereas Hopsin, he reached his goal. He's not really, you know, in that field, whereas JB, he's in that field. He's a lot more hungry and he wants that fame. And I feel like he would beat Hopsin in that battle. I could be wrong though. It could go the other way. We don't know unless the battle actually happened. But that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Really all I'm going to say in this video, yeah, JB versus Hopsin. A rap beef, you know, it's not really a beef because, like I said, Hopsin and his camp didn't even say anything. But I think it would have been a cool rap beef to see. And it would have been cool to see them go back and forth. It would have been entertaining and interesting to see how that would have went. You know, they're both from California. Like I said, in my opinion, I'd probably choose JB for the reasons I stated. But you know, Hopsin can diss pretty well. So yeah, that's really all I gotta say in this video when it comes to JB versus Hopsin. You let me know who you think would win if they actually did beef with each other. You know, shout out to JB and Hopsin. You know, I like both of them. I think they're both good rappers and they seem like good people. But this is just like a what if type thing I was talking about, much like the Dennis versus Rob Level thing, except that one had more of a case possibly happening, whereas this one was just more so JB dissed him, but then Hopsin's camp didn't have anything to say because maybe they didn't know who he was. So that's all I got to say in this video. Peace.